If you have not watched Death Note, there is something wrong with you, and I would strongly advise you to watch that first and then return here for some interesting and fairly unknown facts. Alright, before we begin this, I just want to let you humans know that I am not from a native English-speaking country, so you have probably noticed this, but it is true. You will have to bear with that. You'll have to survive with the pain that I'm causing you by talking with a shitty accent. So with that in the box, let's get right to it. Did you know that the light novel Death Note Another Note, the Los Angeles BB murder cases where Naomi Misora is one of the main characters, were briefly mentioned a few times in the anime but never further explained?
レイペンバーの婚約者美空直美どこかで聞いたのだな彼女かロサンゼルス BB 殺人事件のそうかあの事件私の元で働いてくれた彼女が日本に
Sugumi Oba. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right either, but whatever. Forgive me, Oba. Sugumi Oba is the author of Death Note and Bakuman, but did you know that his or her real identity and gender is a closely guarded secret? The Viz English graphic novel describes Oba as Sugumi Oba, born in Tokyo, hobby, collecting teacups, day and night, develops manga plots while holding knees on a chair, reminiscent to L. Melo's companion, Matt, is very intelligent and known as the third smartest child at Wammy's house. Although he was never a successor to L, Matt has a huge amount of fans among the Death Note fanbase. And it's kind of funny because he does not have a lot of screen time. He actually have the smallest amount of screen time that any bi-role character in the series has, is what I think. So considering how much screen time he's had, and almost doesn't say anything in the anime, it is quite amazing and quite surprising how many fans that he actually have. I personally thought he was a very interesting character, and I just kind of felt it was too bad that he didn't get more screen time, but okay. Anyway, Matt's specialty is technology, and he's tasked by Melo to monitor the activities of Misa, Moki, and Aizawa. He's shown to have a dry sense of humor, asking, "Since when were the Japanese allowed to have such big guns?" while standing at gunpoint. According to Death Note How to Read 13, Matt likes video games and dislikes going outside. Artist or drawer of Death Note, Takeshi Obata is the artist, and he described Matt's concept as a young man who loves gaming and doesn't really care much about the world, much like teenagers and the majority of people who live in the world today. Did you know that Matt's real name is Mile Jeeves, where male is pronounced as Mile? It was said that during his time in Wemmy's orphanage, he and Melo were very close friends and liked to cause trouble. During a flashback in the second anime movie, L's Successors, a blonde child with some of the same traits as L is shown watching a laptop where L speaks to the kids. It should be noted that in the post-series one-shot, which the scene you're watching right now is based on, the blonde child was originally a younger Matt. While many fans believe that this blonde child was actually A or B beyond birthday from the Los Angeles BB murder cases.
There are many types of monsters in this world. Monsters who will not show themselves and who cause trouble. And monsters who always tell lies. They pose as humans even though they have no understanding of the human heart. They eat even though they've never experienced hunger. They study even though they have no interest in academics. They seek friendship even though they do not know how to love. If I were to encounter such a monster, I would likely be eaten by it. Because in truth, I am that monster.
It was also reported that Matt's calm demeanor and laid-back attitude was the reason why he was third in line to be ill. His lack of motivation and drive was the only thing holding him back from being first. His intelligence matching, even surpassing Melo and Nears. Surprisingly, since this was never mentioned in the anime.
先回りしてる車かどれだけいるんだ高田の護衛ってのおいおいいつから日本人はそんなご追従を持っていいことになったんだ大体俺は高田様誘拐の共犯聞きたいこともあるだろう撃つわけ
バカが。どうせ何も喋らんだろうし、キラ様に逆らった罪は死でしか償えないんだ。
Did you know that Tsugumi Oba, again author of Death Note, decided to create Misa Amane even before the serialization began? He felt that having the story consisting of only males would be boring, and that he wanted a cute female to be part of it. Speaking of Misa Amane, did you notice that in the anime, Misa's eye color is seen changing between light brown and blue? Did you know that on September 28, 2007, Belgian authorities found a mutilated corpse in St. Gilles, Brussels, with 2 notes stating, "Watashi wa Kira desu," a misspelling of "I am Kira," which obviously referred to the alias for Light in the Death Note series. After an investigation, a police spokesperson stated that the suspects and the victim had an argument, which turned physical with multiple blows that resulted in the victim's death. They also explained that the suspects decided to leave the notes near the body since they were fans of the Death Note manga. And thus, the Belgian press nicknamed the case Manga Mord, which means manga murder. A connection to this case could be hinted by the creator of Death Note, our mighty Oba, because Oba, also being the creator of Bakuman, included an arc in Bakuman, where the manga creators, the main characters in Bakuman, are in complete distress because a criminal decided to act out the crimes that the characters included in the manga. So by this we can clearly see how author Oba from Bakuman and Death Note thought about this case. I suppose this means I'm no longer a suspect. Everything is going as planned. But I'm sure L won't give up that easily. Did you know that the 13th issue of the Death Note manga notes that anytime L gave a percentage, which was usually around 3 to 5%, of the likelihood that Light was Kira, he was actually lying. It was always around or above 90%. In fact, anytime L throws out a percentage, it basically means that he suspects that person by over 90%, although L gives Light a low percentage, indicating how much he suspects Light. L is pretty certain that Light is Kira. Oba siding about L. The truth is, he's a liar.
僕がキラ？
いえ、疑っていると言っても 1% ぐらいです。
Did you know that in chapter 38 of the manga, L suggests that even though he only eats sweet foods, he remains underweight because the brain uses the most calories of any organ in the body. Also explained by himself in the anime during episode 18. He also says that if he sits normally, his reasoning ability would drop by 40%.
この席に座れば人に会話を聞かれることもない。
良いところを教えていただきました。
ここならその座り方もそんなに気にすることもないしね。
私はこの座り方でないとダメなんです。一般的な座り方をすると推理力が 40% 減です。
In the first Death Note anime movie, Death Note Relight 1, Visions of a God, an unnamed Shinigami appears in the Shinigami realm. This new Shinigami asks the others where the rogue Shinigami named Rig is. Some members of the Death Note fanbase believe this unnamed Shinigami to be the reincarnation of Light Yagami. One factor that lightens up this as being positive is that Rig could be seen as referring to the unnamed Shinigami at the end of the movie by calling out his name. And also the physical appearance of the Shinigami just looks like Light. Alright, so that's it for part 1. I will make one more part to this, or maybe 2. If you want to see more of these videos, then you are very welcome to subscribe to my channel, because I will be making more of these videos. It's pretty fun. Must be nice to have notifications of when they will be up, so you can be the first to comment and stuff like that. Now everything that was in my way is gone, and everyone still believes in me. It's only a matter of time before I get rid of the police. What do you think of that, El? This is my perfect victory. That's right, I win!